Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another episode of the Agent Spotlight. Now, today I've got with me team leader Connor Hobbs, who started in July last year. And in that short period of time with Razor Ridge from January this year, you did 14K in the last 2 weeks of Jan, 28K in February, and in the first 10 days of February, you've hit 23K. So about 6 APV in just over 60 days, which is astounding. So I'm really pleased to have you here. Things are going really well, and I'm excited to share your story with everyone who's watching. So yeah, just give an intro about yourself, Connor.
Yeah, well, first off, thanks for having me. Super pumped you wanted to have me on. I was so excited. But yeah, I'm a big Razor Ridge believer. When I first found out that you guys had switched over leadership and you know, started with your own version of Razor Ridge, I was like, you know what? I'll try it out and we'll see what happens. And man, I'm so glad I made the switch.
Brilliant. No, that's good. That's good to hear. So what were you doing before Razor Ridge?
I was working Lighthouse, so I've always been doing digital leads really since July. So about 6, 7 months, I was able to hit a bunch of promotions, start building my own team. But it's a lot of people that don't really respond.
Okay.
You might have to work with 60 leads to get 5 responses. So the response rate and the intent rate is a lot higher at Razor Ridge. Like
Interesting. So
I
wait, so
I could
you're
not
saying
believe the response rate.
if you're buying a 60 leads from Razor Ridge, how many would you expect to respond?
To respond, probably 55. Now, but you're going to get no-shows and stuff like that. Like it's going to happen as part of working leads, but the response rate is through the roof and the intent rate is a lot higher. So like whenever I actually sit down with a client and we start talking about options, I mean, they're ready to buy usually on like day one or day two. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like the lighthouse leads, I'd be working those leads for sometimes 3 to 4 weeks before I actually got to a sale. And
Wow.
here it's like day two, we're ready to roll.
Wow. So that
So
that makes sense how you can get those numbers because you're you didn't even have a pipeline. And I think that's probably one of the biggest takeaways here. January, you just started your first couple of weeks of orders, no pipeline in 2 weeks closed from K. And then you started building a pipeline that moved into February. Obviously, you're still ordering. Now I think you're on 30 premiums so that you're going at every couple of weeks,
I do 32 leads every 2 weeks.
every two
So
weeks. That's it.
essentially what I'm doing is like when I buy 32 leads, they start coming in week one. So I know in that first week, there's going to be 4 to 5 clients in there that are just ready to buy right now. So you get them on the phone, you sell right away. The next week, I spend getting a resolution on the rest of the leads. So
Makes
there
sense.
might be another 4 to 5 over the next week that are pretty easy. Like it takes them a week to make a decision, but once they make the decision, they're ready to go. And then for the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, I'm still working those same batch of leads, but I already have another order placed. So I'm getting my 4 to 5 immediates and then the next 4 to 5 that take a week. So once you get the pipeline up and running, it really works pretty smoothly. I actually just sold a policy this week on a Razor Ridge that I bought back in January. So,
Wow.
sometimes
Yeah.
it takes a little while, but you still have the pipeline, turning business over for you.
I guess that helps the leads being also exclusive to you, right? Name
Yeah,
branded to
for
you.
sure.
So these guys know the leads that at least when they come in, they know it's only you that should be contacted them. That's important because I think that helps with the contact rate, the engagement that you're getting, but also it means when like you are following up over a period of time, it's an expectation that, only Connor come and is going to speak to me.
It, I've I'm not gonna name names, but I've worked other leads, and there's a lot of bait and switch stuff where they promise something, and then that's not what we're actually delivering. And so, the client, whenever they're reaching out for any type of like a sales call, uh, their guard's already super high, right? And then the first bit of distrust that pops up, I mean, that's it. Next thing you know, like they're cussing me out and calling me a scam and all that fun stuff. So I will say there is, I don't know if you guys had an update within the last like 2, 3 weeks, but now that they're getting our information, the after hours, like
Oh,
I'm waking up to text messages from leads that my CRM system hasn't even texted yet, and they're saying like, "Hey, my name is this. I want this. Please call me at this time." And I'm
yeah.
like, I don't have to do
Yes.
half of the work that I usually have to do.
Yeah. So that was I did an update literally 3 days ago, which is obviously one of the biggest things that, especially with lead gen across all platforms, right? The biggest thing is when someone comes in after hours for especially TCPA where you're not going to get any automated text in. The biggest issue is how do you effectively keep that person engaged so that they are going to respond in the morning or the afternoon or the evening. And so what I do know is where they are coming from. They're in Texas or California. And so what you can do is you can show them something which basically suggests that they should probably reach out to you ahead of time so you can know that the best time is to out to them. So like you saw, morning, afternoon, evening. But you as an agent, now it's very easy. You don't have to worry about following up until the afternoon or the evening because they've already told you that's when they are available.
Well, and that's the crazy thing is when you're working other leads, the hardest part, especially for a lead that comes in overnight that you can't get to immediately, is getting them to a time where we can actually talk on the phone. Like I cannot tell you how many leads I have gone through where, they came in at 1 or 2 in the morning. I finally text back at like 9 a.m. and then
Hmm.
I don't hear from them for a week or two. And
Yeah.
then with Razor Ridge, they're like, "Hey, I'm free at 4:30 p.m. Central Time. Give me a call then." I give them a call, and we're usually writing an application that day. I mean, it's crazy.
It's good. It's good to hear that these updates are working. I'm hearing a lot of one call closes are coming from people who text as well, which is exciting, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you're a godsend, IO, because this business was so much harder before Razor Ridge. Yeah, I mean, I think in my entire career up until I started Razor Ridge, I had 2 1 call closes, and now it's like 2 a week. I mean, it's ridiculous how many people are just they're ready to buy from day one.
I love that. So, I want to talk a bit more about your process when I'm speaking to other people who have come on this podcast. A lot of them come with a very like consultative approach to the leads instead of having like a rigid script. Is that something that you do yourself, or did you modify a script that you had previously?
So the first week that I started on Razor Ridge, I was using the same digital script that I've been using for the last 6, 7 months, and it just wasn't working. You can't fit the leads into a box. Like the text templates weren't working, the call templates weren't working, and so I really switched to like a conversational kind of approach. So it's very much cool, calm, collected. Like we're just taking it down a notch. This isn't a high pressure sales call or anything like that. IO, just tell me what you're looking for. Why did you watch the YouTube video? What stuck out to you?
Yeah, just the person that was on opposite looked like me, and that story resonated with me and my family situation. So I just wanted to find out more about living benefits and if I can potentially qualify for it.
Yeah, perfect. Me and my wife, we actually have a couple policies that have living benefits included as well. And I know me having that takes a lot of the worry out of my wife's out of her mind. So I see on the form that you filled out, you were looking for about 250,000 to $500,000 worth of coverage. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, great. And I see on the form you didn't have any major medical issues.
No, no, just got asthma, and that's about it.
Okay. Do you take any kind of inhalers or anything like that for it?
No, no, it's just something I have. I don't use any inhalers currently.
Okay, great. Tell me a little bit about why this is important to you and what you currently have in place that could take care of this.
So I've got a policy of my work, but I'm not really sure if it offers what I need for my family. And obviously, the world's going crazy right now, and we don't know if I'm going to be laid off or AI is going to take my job. And if they take my job, they take my policy. So what I want to do is have something set up that whatever happens, that my kids and my family are protected in any situation.
Okay. Yeah, I can completely understand that. Are you looking for something, temporary or something more permanent?
Talk to me about that. So what would be the differences here?
Yeah, so there's two different types of policies. We can go with a term policy, which usually has an expiration date of about 15 years to 20 years. So a lot of people in their mid 30s to mid 50s, they're going to look at a temporary policy because they want to have coverage during their working years.
Hmm.
The other side of that is a whole life policy that's going to build cash value from day one. So you can kind of treat it like a retirement account where you're paying into the policy. It's going to grow death benefit year over year. It's going to come with those living benefits that you're looking for, and there's going to be cash value for you to pull out of. Now, the whole life policies are usually a little bit more expensive because it's not a question of if, it's a question of when, right? The insurance
Yeah.
company is going to have to pay this out at some point. Do you know like which way you would lean towards?
I think I like the whole life. I think I like the security, but also the cash value element. Using that as a retirement fund, it means that every dollar that I put in is being worked rather than just going into renting a policy with my term policy. So yeah, let's go ahead with that.
Okay, great. Did you have a so with the whole life, it's more so of how much you're comfortable contributing on a month-to-month basis. Do you have a rough budget you'd wanna spend on something like that?
Probably about 150 to 200 bucks a month. I can
Perfect.
stretch right now.
Yeah, most of my clients start out at around 150, and then you can always increase that later,
Perfect. All right, sum me up.
right? That's it.
What is great about that is it's exactly how we frame the conversation in our ads, right? We're very much, the person that you're going to speak to, they're going to sit down with you to produce what we call a personalized protection plan. The whole point of that is for them to find out more about you, find out your situation so they can create an options for you. I think your way of approaching it is perfect because you're allowing them to open up, give you the answers of the why, and then from there you can then tailor your conversation into these are your options. Which one do you want to go?
Exactly, and, most leads, how they're structured, like, the first text I get is, "I want $500,000. How much is that gonna cost me?" And I'm like, "Well, I know nothing about you. I don't know anything about your health. I can't give you a base $500,000 because if you have like a 30-year-old who's a marathon runner and completely
Hmm.
healthy, it's going to cost them like $60 a month. And then if you have a 58-year-old that has type 2 diabetes, we're looking at $250 a month. So
Yeah.
the only way for me to really figure that out is to get you on the phone and work through everything and really see what you need because most people don't need $500,000,
No, 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 of course
So,
not. I love that. So tell me a bit more about just like how your working life has changed since coming to Razors. You look very happy, which is great to hear. But like, what were your days like before? Were you stressed out, or were you diving a lot and not getting anywhere? Like, what does it look like now?
so yeah, I was stressed. Most days I would start work around 8 a.m. and I'd usually finish up around 9 p.m. So about 13-hour days, Monday through Friday. Saturday I'd usually work about 8 hours a day, and then Sunday usually like 2 to 3 hours. Um, and most of that was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
trying to get people that were no showing me back on the schedule, trying to get a hold of leads for the first time. And
Mm,
sometimes, we're talking 2, 3 weeks down the line. So if you don't really like get an answer in the first 24 hours, it's that much harder to get them on the phone, a couple weeks later. So yeah, I love working where I'm at. I love the job. I love, life insurance sales in general. But, once I moved over to Razor Ridge, my life got a lot easier. I think, most days now I'm working like a solid 8 hours. Most of my business is wrapped up like by 5 p.m. I feel like I'm getting a hold of everybody like pretty immediately, and if I'm not, then we're working like a Saturday at 1 p.m. But that's the
yeah.
only thing I have scheduled for Saturday, you know? My life has definitely gotten a lot easier. The consistency of APV coming in is, 10 times better than what it was before.
Amazing.
Last month, had a great end of January. My wife and I were going to Greece for our first wedding anniversary in
Congratulations.
May.
Awesome.
Booked all of that off of Razor Ridge Leads. We booked a trip to Switzerland in January of next year to go skiing.
Well,
And then we have an Italy trip planned for next April. And the fact that we're just able to spend that kind of money and still have money coming in is
hmm
ridiculous. Like
No, that's
it's
awesome.
Razor Ridge has essentially made a commission job a salary just because of how consistent we're getting paid. So I love it. I'm not going anywhere else.
I love that. And you know what? I'm in the UK. I don't see everyone as often as I would like. I always forget what I'm doing impacts you as individuals. I just see numbers, right? How many leads have we sold? How many leads have we delivered? But actually,
Right.
each one of these leads that are delivered is an opportunity for you to make money and also an opportunity for that person to get protection. So it's nice to hear that you're traveling all across Europe, which is awesome. So, yeah, so it's good to hear that Razor Ridge and bankrolled your European tour.
Yeah, I sure hope so, man. Don't change a thing.
No, well, I'll just be improving what we've got. There's still things I think we can do a bit better. So yeah, watch this space. But you spoke about like the consistency. Like, what do you do individually to help manage that consistency as well?
I mean, the biggest thing is making sure you're maintaining your pipeline, right? Like that's the only way to get consistency in this industry. Like let's say the last 2 weeks, I've had a lot of non-US citizens. And so
Hmm
that process takes a little bit longer just to get them from point A to point B. And it's not so much a client thing, it's more so like a carrier thing. We have to, verify visas and verify, citizenship in general. Let's say your spouse is a citizen, but you're not. We have to take care of all of that.
Yeah.
Instead of it taking 2 to 3 days to get paid, sometimes it's taken 14 to 16 days to get paid. So you got to
hmm
make sure that no matter, the money's coming in, but you still need to make that lead payment on, for me, it's the second week of the month because
Yeah.
that's what's going to, carry me through the end of the month. So you just got to make sure that whatever like dates you select for your lead orders, you're making those payments regardless of what's going on in your business. Whatever kind of clients you're dealing with or when money's getting paid out or whatever, you need to stick to at Symmetry, we say 90 days. When you
Yeah.
set aside lead spend for 90 days, you're going to stick to it for, if it's every week, if it's every 2 weeks, no matter how many leads you're buying, you're sticking to it for 90 days because that's the only way that this is going to work. It's not a we're going to test out Razor Ridge for a week and see if it works. It's not going to work because it's a pipeline lead, right? Like we got to make sure that we are building a strong pipeline and we have enough invested in that pipeline to make sure it continues to run throughout the rest of the year, the next year.
No, and that's I mean, it's a strong message, right? That's why I try to make sure as much as possible we don't pigeonhole people into something that isn't working for them by not having subscriptions. But at the end of the day, for this to work, I mean, you're not the first person to say it. I know Symmetry do say it a lot as well, and many other like very senior agents say this is a pipeline game. And I think what's been great about you is you've followed a clear process, but also you've learned as you've gone along. Like you said, when you did your first order and you're doing scripts that weren't working, you pivoted and realized, wait a second, I need to adjust what I'm doing to perform better for these leads. And it wasn't necessarily a lead problem, which sometimes it's easy to blame the leads, but it wasn't necessarily a lead problem. It was maybe my approach needs to change to deliver the value that these guys are expecting. And how did you come across that? Was it a conscious decision that you're like, do you know what? This isn't working? Or was it more of you heard or seen someone else doing something different and you thought, you know what, I'll just try that and figure it out.
It was more of a reactive kind of thing. Like if I start the conversation and the lead is very responsive and then
hmm
they become very not responsive within like two or three texts, then it's probably something that I'm doing.
mm
It's let's take a step back. What are they? Honestly, I'm kind of known in our agency as like the guy that just kind of tries things. And whenever something works, I like stick. So I'll play around with the leads. And I still to this day, like with my agents, I don't have a set text script, like a template. I just tell everyone like have a conversation with your leads and see where it gets you, because that's the only way this thing is going to work. And, going back to what you said earlier about, a lot of people blame the leads. That's kind of the first step. You can't blame the leads until you get through like a month. If you get through a
Mm,
month and you're not having any success, then it might be a lead issue. And that's only if you've tried like 3 or 4 different strategies to get to a close. It's not like if we're dumping money into something for a month, 6 weeks, and you're getting no results, no sales, then it might be a lead issue.
yeah,
But
yeah,
that's not a decision you can make in a week or 2 weeks or, really even 3 weeks. It takes time to get a
yeah.
pipeline built up and to really like test something out.
No, I completely agree. And one of the other things, what would you say to agents who may be on the fence? Because I think from my perspective anyway, there are probably a lot of agents who are looking in, seeing what Razor are doing, and not ready to make the jump just yet for many reasons. I'm not going to judge. But what would you say to agents who are just looking out, thinking, yeah, this sounds good, but I'm not sure?
I mean, what are you waiting on? Like you see the people at the top of the leaderboards every week are the people that are in Razor Ridge. So it's like, what are we doing? If you see other people having success, and I mean, we're sitting at like 2.5 months since we made the full switch over to Razor Ridge, 3.5 months maybe. Like there's plenty of data points for you to look at, and to
Mm,
see like these leads are having success and we're having good conversations with our clients. And, I'm logging out of the Zoom office at 5 p.m. every day. I'm not having to work until 9, 10, 11 p.m. So like that would be my thing. Like, what are you waiting on? Like you see everybody else having success with them. And that's the nice thing about symmetry is we all help each other out, right? It's not like I'm not stepping on, another agent to get to the top or to get a promotion or anything like that. Like we all have the same resources available to us to get promoted.
hmm
Like if you see somebody else doing well, shoot them a message and be like, how are you working these Razor Ridge leads to get the results that you're getting? And, and we tell them, we're like, hey, this is step by step. Like you can jump in a Zoom room and watch me work with my clients if you want to do that,
Yeah, yeah.
just jump in, just take the leap.
So you're live dialing in, working the leads. That's awesome. That's really
Yeah.
good. That's so powerful. And you just realize you've just opened yourself up for loads of people to,
No,
which is
I
cool.
know.
I think,
Yeah,
like you
it's
said, it's
fine.
it's important for people to really understand what you guys who are being really successful and very consistent are doing. But I'm glad to be able to facilitate it as somebody who is just providing the service to make sure that you can achieve your goals.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we are indebted to you, man. The response rate, I mean, if I have a lead order that's I'm opening you up to it now too. If I have a lead order that's not fully filled yet, I'm texting IO. I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" And then you
Yeah,
take care of it that day,
yeah,
I'll say like for my personal agents, I got everybody over to Razor Ridge. Like you get licensed, you get contracted with all of the carriers. You are going to spend about a week doing bonus leads, just like getting practice on the phones. And then the very next week, we're jumping into standard Razor Ridge leads. Like we
perfect.
want to get those wins early.
Yeah,
So, for all of them, I'm in an open breakout room all day long dialing my leads, and then I'm watching them and listening to them dial their Razor Ridge lead. And so we've kind of built a culture of like from day one, we're jumping into Razor Ridge and I'm going to help you and walk you through the process to the point where you can make a sale yourself. And then whenever you start bringing on agents yourself, you're going to do the same exact thing. Like we're going to
that's a
jump
good
in an open
idea.
room. Everything is going to be done live.
I love that. And actually, that brings me up to a point of just personally what I'm trying to do with Razor Ridge going forward, which is to just make it a platform whereby wherever you come in, you have the same process that underpins all the leads. So you're not being disadvantaged with the product. So what do I mean by that? So typically, like you were working Lighthouse Digital previously, but that lead type is very different to calling, which is very different to an MIA. So as somebody who's teaching your agents how to work the leads, you have to teach them three different things because they all work in a different manner. And with Razor Ridge, the whole process, I don't discriminate on our process, whatever lead type, right? So if we end up having an even cheaper lead on one end or even more expensive on the top end, the same process is going to underpin all of them. And that what that means is all you have to do is plug in your agents into the system wherever they fit. Obviously, the types of people in the conversations will be different because the premiums are a set type of person, right? Whereas a standard is a bit more open to interpretation, if you want to call it that. I mean, there's a lot of value in the standards for sure, but you're going to
For
get a
sure.
wide variety of people as well. And so, but the process is exactly the same. So you're still hearing or, you having people text you, having people, reach out before or call you, or just the conversations are very similar to what you have on their premium. It's just they've just got less money to work.
Yeah, it's exactly the same process. I actually had an agent yesterday. She's just kind of struggling through. We all go through that little like 2 week period where like things just aren't working out how we need to. And I jumped on a call with her. She got a new standard lead that came in yesterday. I jumped on a call with her and we just literally like went through every text that she was gonna say. So the client said this, I'm like, hey, say this. Uh, she literally went back and forth for 4 text messages, and the client said, "I'm gonna give you a call right now. Let's just write the app now." So it was
Amazing.
four text messages, and she got a 1,500 APV sale on a standard lead. So it works
Amazing.
the exact same. It's the same process. It's just like, yeah, the premiums have a little bit more money to work with, and they usually are a little bit healthier, but it's the same exact process.
Perfect. I love that you're experiencing it because I think when people key into it, they'll realize it's just an easier way to train your team. You don't have to worry about 5 different scripts, this different process. If you're buying this, do that. Don't forget you got 17 days exclusivity. In my opinion, it's all about just making sure you've got the best quality conversations, and you're being built up as the only expert that can solve their problems. And when I do that on my end, it means from you guys' perspective, your life is just a lot easier, right? It's less stress,
Exactly.
a lot more fun working leads, and a lot more fun in your day, and a lot of traveling in your
Yeah.
situation too.
Exactly. No, very blessed, very thankful for Razor Ridge. Yeah, like, and even like a brand new agent that comes in, they're going to mess up. Like, you're going to make mistakes when you first start here. And that's the nice thing about like the standard Razor Ridge leads is let's say you mess up and then like 2 months later, you think about that client and you're like, oh my goodness, I could have just done this. That's your lead for life. So you can go back and call them again 2 months later and make the
Hmm.
sale,
Yep.
So like, I would much rather my agents, work those standards and then spend, the same amount of money on 100 bonus leads that they only get for 17 days. That those leads have also been called by 30, 40 different people. Like by that point, the clients just like take me off your list and
Better.
cussing at them and all of that stuff. Yeah, definitely love the standards when it comes to when it comes to brand new agents.
Awesome. Well, I don't know. This has been an amazing chat. I really appreciate your time. Just chatting and going through a little demo of how you work the leads as well. I think that's going to be really important and powerful for people who are watching this as well. So, is there anything else you want to add?
No, just super grateful for you letting me chat with you today, and I'm super thankful for everything that you do for us, man. We
I
really
appreciate it.
appreciate you over in the Clark 130.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you as well and the team. And yeah, look forward to many more months of success.
Me too, man. Me too.